Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to an extra interview of the Directed by Dean podcast. Today, I'm joined by a man who I haven't seen in a few years, so my expectations for him are to be more handsome, more built up, not really aged at all, and see some of what he's done since I last saw him, which includes kissing Lucy Hale in his newest movie, which is now available on Amazon Prime in the UK, and shocking Katherine Heigl. And I actually thought there was nothing that could actually shock Katherine Heigl anymore. Miracles happen. Ladies and gentlemen, Glen Powell's replacement for the next Top Gun movie, Alessandro Miro.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, mate. It's good to see you again. It's been a few years. Is it 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah. I think a couple of years, I would say. I think we shot Dangerous during the pandemic 2020, so I must have talked to you in like
it is nearly 4 years ago. Geez.
2021. Well, I think we talked in 2021, and I guess it's 2024, isn't it?
Yeah, so 3 years then, yeah. Just when you said pandemic, normally first thing that jumps to my mind is 2020, but then again, we had a mini one at the end of 2020, didn't we? So
we must have talked in 2021. So it's been 2 or 3 years. Yeah. It's great to see you.
It is, mate. It's been good to see you too. I see you've aged well.
Thank you very much. We try as actors.
So obviously, before we begin, I would say how have you been? But obviously, if your filmography and demo reels anything to go by, you've been living the good life.
Yeah, I've been living a good life. It's interesting as an actor. I think what we put out there always looks like the good life, but obviously you struggle as well. And there's, it's been the good life, but there's also been a strike that has
there's been a few
made there's been a few that made last year quite difficult, actually. So, but I've been lucky. I've been lucky to have worked on some amazing things and really cool projects and still do all that. But definitely last year was tough. So this year, hopefully it gets a bit better. For sure.
Yeah, definitely. Hope so, mate. How's school doing?
School? My school, the studio run, is doing great. That's actually one of the things that even during the strikes has really kept me going and has kept me inspired, being able to work with my students and still work on the craft. I find working on the craft to be so important when the industry is slow because it keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough that I'm always teaching and I'm always in class and and watching and helping my students get better. So that's been awesome. It's been going really, really well. Yeah. Thank you.
So everyone has inspirations. As you may or may not know, mine range from James Cameron. It's funny enough, we were talking about Terminator 4 before. So Hans Zimmer, probably one of the greatest movie composers ever to have existed. Hiroyuki Sanada, definitely probably Japan's finest export. And obviously, the lady who can do no wrong. And I, in theory, will be going to see her this summer, but we'll just see if Ticketmaster messes up my tickets. Taylor Swift. So who are your inspirations?
Awesome.
Big
My
Swiftie here, mate, in case you didn't know.
What's that?
I'm a big Swiftie, in case you didn't know.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, I hope you get the tickets. I know it's, I hear it's not easy to get them. So
it's carnage.
Hopefully you do.
And that's being nice.
Well, fingers crossed for you.
Definitely.
My inspirations, I grew up watching Tom Hanks. He was a big one for me growing up, for sure. When I wanted to become an actor when I was really young, he was a big one for me. Other ones, I'm thinking, I feel like Benicio del Toro and Philip Seymour Hoffman are inspirations in the sense that they had gone to the theater school that I ended up going to. And I remember when I was thinking of going to theater school in New York, I was looking up at all the schools, and Benicio del Toro and Philip Seymour Hoffman had gone to Circle in the Square Theater School, and that's part of why I went. So I would definitely say that they inspired me with my training. And let's see, there's a few. I mean, I'm a huge Viola Davis fan. I think she's just incredible. She's just the power that she has as an actor is fascinating, as well as Kate Blanchett is just so good. And let's see, Joaquin Phoenix is one of my favorites as well. So love Joaquin Phoenix. I love everything he does. the amount of risks that he takes as an actor and the versatility that he has. That's something that, that's the kind of career I would love to have. Just, everything he does, I feel like is incredible.
Mm. So you mentioned Kate Blanchett and Joaquin Phoenix. Joker Folie à Deux is out in October.
Yeah.
I'm expecting big for that. And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the Borderlands movie starring Kate Blanchett has actually been released. I think it was about 2-3 hours ago. This is obviously at the time of recording.
Oh, no way.
And we're actually having a contest this year to see who can get the 5 highest grossing movies of 2024. And Borderlands and Joker Folie à Deux are actually 2 of my 3.
That does make sense.
Yep. Along with Dune Part 2, which is out in a few, which is out in a week and a bit. Deadpool 3, and what was my other one? Oh yeah, Ballerina, John Wick spin-off. So I'm feeling quite good. I'm feeling quite good about my chances.
Yeah, those are great choices. Those sound like they're gonna do really well. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah. Is there a Mission Impossible coming out this year? Because
I believe
that would do well. That's next year. Okay.
Hopefully, Part 2 or whatever they're going to call it, because I think it's not being called Dead Reckoning Part 2 anymore. Hopefully, it will do better and not face off against Chris Nolan like he did last year.
Right. Yeah. So, for sure. Well, and last year was so tricky for all movies coming out, because the lack of advertisement that the actors could do in the promotion. So, so hopefully everything this year does a bit better.
Yeah, that's okay.
Though, I guess Barbie and Oppenheimer did so well despite. So,
what I didn't tell you about this year is whoever wins gets, we'll say, a £30 or dollar, because one of my co-hosts is from America, $30 or £30 voucher of their choosing. So it could be PlayStation, Amazon, Xbox, because Sam has a Xbox. The bad news is the loser has to pay the $30 or the £30. I was like,
well, there we go.
Let's spice it up a little bit. Let's have a bit of, right. So we're not going to fork out each of it. Someone's going to fork out all of it. And
that's funny. I like that.
It was,
raise the stakes.
Raise the stakes, and everyone agreed to it. So
awesome.
I must admit, Joe had, unfortunately for him, not so much for me, picked Madam Web as one of his.
Picked what?
He picked Madam Web with Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, interesting.
It's not done that well, mate. I'll be honest. It's not done that well.
Okay. I don't even know.
It's gone, well, put it this way. Morbius is the worst movie Sony movie as far as opening box office weekend 2 weeks goes. It did worse than that.
Okay, damn. Yeah, okay, so there we go. So you might win.
Yeah, I was like... I'll be honest, mate. When I was picking my choices, I was fairly confident beforehand, and it was just a case of, right, let's just see how everybody else goes for. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know if you know this, but last year we had Barbieheimer weekend, didn't we? Which was obviously This week we have a Barbieheimer style weekend, but it's not 2 movies going against each other; it's 4.
Wow!
So I can't speak for America and Canada, but I can say in England, on the same weekend, which is May 20th, there's Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski's animated movie If. There's a new Garfield movie as well, and that's going up against Furiosa Mad Max spin-off with Anya Taylor-Joy and a unfall-like Chris Hemsworth, and the newest entry from the Planet of the Apes saga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot, mate.
The new Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like I've been so out of the loop. I didn't even know these movies were coming out. So there we go.
There we
are. I don't know where I've been.
To be honest with you, none of the cast from Matt Reeves' ones that are coming into this. It's actually being led by Freya Allen from The Witcher. So we'll see how that fares. But yeah, that's definitely the weekend to, at least you've got a choice of everything. So you've got a choice of 2 animated and 2 live action to choose from.
Cool.
I feel quite
good. There we go.
Yeah.
A good weekend. It's so funny for me. Like I like to watch. I'm kind of snobby that way. I like to watch the Oscar movies. So for me, like my season for movies is the fall when all those movies come out.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge like blockbuster guy. Like I don't go and see. Usually, if like something has, the big blockbuster ones, I kind of miss. Unless they're kind of like both, like Dune, I will for sure go see. You know, but otherwise, a lot of times when it comes to like the big blockbusters, I kind of miss them. So I like the smaller movies. So yeah. So
Definitely
sometimes
nothing
I don't
wrong.
know I was gonna say sometimes I don't know if the big blockbusters are coming out. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize.
So, I mean, it's, to be honest with you, everything kind of feels like a big blockbuster movie nowadays. Because remember when in
Well,
the
especially the ones that come out in theaters, it's
yeah,
so different now. I feel like in order for a movie to get a theatrical release, it has to be a blockbuster, which is a bit of a shame because I love going to the movie theater. I love to go see, smaller movies in the movie theater. And it's kind of sad now. I feel like they just get released on streaming right off the top.
yeah.
And yeah, the theater is like kind of reserved for the big blockbuster now.
I miss the days when you could just simply watch something like, I don't know, Evil Dead or
Yeah,
Halloween
yeah,
or Friday the 13th, made
yeah,
for pittance
yeah,
and basically made millions. I do miss
yeah,
those days. But
yeah,
at the same
yeah.
time,
Me too.
it's kind of like inflation, really. Everything goes up in price.
Absolutely. Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So between when you were last here and your second time here now,
Yeah.
what has changed for you both on a personal and a professional level?
Oh, interesting. I'm trying to think. Let's see. I mean, I can't remember if I'd started. I feel like when I talked to you, maybe I was just starting my business, because I've been teaching for like 10 years, if not more. But it's only in the past couple of years that I started my own business and my own studio. So that's kind of a big one for me, like having started my own studio. Has been really cool. Career wise, I mean, it's just about the gigs that I've done, like you said, being on, doing Puppy Love, which was awesome. It was such a great opportunity for me. And yeah, like you said, working with Katherine Heigl on Firefly Lane. I did Riverdale, which was cool. I got to work with Charles Melton, so it was kind of cool to see him getting all the. Well, I guess he didn't get an Oscar nomination, but like the Golden Globe nomination, all that. That was kind of crazy to see because I just worked with him last year. So it's just been that just the little gigs. Kind of going back and forth from here, Vancouver. I live in Vancouver, but trying to spend a bit more time in LA. So doing a little bit of back and forth when it comes to that. And so that's been it, I would say.
I suppose I might as well return the favour. The only thing I've really been up to on a professional
Yeah,
level the past 3 years is just trying to make the podcast bigger,
yeah,
make a lot more friends, and see if the podcast can grow. And I honestly think it's at the time where it's actually primed for not so much expansion because that makes it sound like a business, but
yeah.
you know what I mean. I'm trying to think of a word, but obviously not expansion, but
Okay.
we'll say growth. Actually, growth like a
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, 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 which is awesome. And I've seen the logo and the marketing that you guys are putting out there and looks sharp, looks really good. You guys are doing great. Yeah.
I'm sure the producer will be glad to hear that.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, no, it's looking really good. So congrats on that.
Right, let's talk about Puppy Love, which
Yeah.
when I had Corey on recently, it wasn't available in the UK on Amazon Prime, but it is now. I watched it
Mm-hmm.
last week, so I have actually watched it.
Awesome.
I liked it. I generally did like it, but let's face it, it
Yeah.
was the dogs that stole the show. Let's be honest.
Say that again.
It was definitely the dogs that stole the show. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know. I have so many, it's so funny. I get so many messages on Instagram of people that have watched it, just random people, and they're like, the puppies stole the show. The puppies were so good. So yeah, turns out the puppies were the real. I mean, it is called Puppy Love, so it does make sense. And those dogs were adorable. And dogs always steal the show. Dogs are the best,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I was saying that when people were DMing you, did any marriage proposals sneak into there, by the way?
I will tell you, I don't get marriage proposal, but I get some weird. You get like weird proposals from people, like you that I'm not gonna say on public. You get like some strange requests that is like I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody actually has the guts to like message a random person that I don't know about that. So yeah, so no marriage proposals, but definitely some very odd proposals, some date proposals,
Oh,
some weird ones.
that's the first time someone actually slid into your DMs to ask you out on a date.
Yeah,
All right, is it
yeah.
female or male?
I don't think I think both. Yeah.
You got it. You got
I
it.
wouldn't I don't think it's I mean, I just don't reply because I find it really awkward and it's weird. But no, yeah, I wouldn't say something. I'm sure people get that.
Yeah, they do.
Fans, I appreciate, I'm very flattered when people do that. So I'm flattered. Thank you. But it's the internet and social media is a strange place.
They are. Let's face it.
Yeah.
It's the body that does it. Really.
It's the what?
It's your body that's really the biggest selling point. Let's be honest.
Well, you gotta use what you got.
All right, then. So, for those who haven't seen Puppy Love or can't get access to it, what exactly is it about?
So it's a romantic comedy starring Lucy Hale and Grant Gustin. And they play opposites. They're two very different people, but they go on a Tinder or Bumble date. Anyways, they end up matching online and they go on a date with their puppy. They each have a puppy and they go on this date that goes horribly. They do not get along, Lucy and Grant's character, but the puppies do. And so the puppies sneak off and have a little fun of their own. And then it turns out that one of the puppies got the other puppy pregnant. So Lucy's character, which is Nicole, and Max, that's Grant's character, decide to find a way to get the puppies so they can spend time together, and they end up living together and try to they want to be there so they can raise the puppies together when and so it's kind of it's a little bit like Knocked Up but with dogs, if that makes sense. Yeah,
and with complete and utter awkwardness, because Nicole is basically a party girl, and Max is I will say socially awkward, and he's also a bit of a collector as well. That's all I'll say.
Yes, yeah. So they're very different. Like she's very free spirited and a bit wild and fun, and he's more like I'm going to stay at home and a little OCD as well. He wants everything in order, and he just he prefers to just stay home and have a quiet life. So yeah.
And you, sir, if I may be so bold, are the third party in this relationship?
I am the third party. Yes.
Oh, his character is not him, actually.
Yeah, not me.
I want to make that clear. It's actually his character, not him.
Yeah, not in real life. My character is. Yes, my character is, and very opposite of Grant's character. I'm like I'm like very, very different. I'm that foreign guy that shows up in romantic comedies to kind of just screw everything up.
Yeah.
So that's me. Yeah.
Well, showing off let's be honest, a rather toned physique as well.
Sure. Yeah.
Toned physique and leave it at that. Don't want to boost his ego a bit too much.
Well, and and I think it's because the top they gave me is very revealing. It's kind of funny. It's a very revealing top, which is so funny. But I loved my costume. It's just, I remember the first time I tried it on in the trailer, and oh my God, I just started laughing so hard, and everybody thought I was crying because I have a weird laugh, and then I just came out. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I was just bursting out laughing, and then Lucy saw it. And the makeup team saw it, and we all just started laughing hysterically. Like, it was so funny. I was like, who is this guy? He kind of like dresses like he's a cult leader a little bit. I'm like, is he a cult leader? Like, what is going on? And but that's Hunter. My character is just, man, he's wild and he's all over the place. And it's almost like he doesn't In a way, it's like he's not even from this planet. It's just a very strange individual.
But he can actually dress up quite nicely when he wants to.
He can, yeah, for sure. He can kind of, yeah, be a bit more normal in quotes, more standard. But he's a crazy guy.
Hmm. What was your favorite part of the movie, and what was your character's favorite line?
Okay, that's my God. Filming that whole movie was so much fun. I would say our my favorite part of shooting the movie was when we did the dinner scene at the ASMR restaurant.
It definitely is a
So
nice restaurant.
Oh my God, it's so funny. And even, what they used in the movie is quite mild compared to how far we took it. The movie had a lot of it was so much fun to do because we had a lot of room to improv, and every take was different. And either we come up with lines or the directors would come and talk to us in our ears so the other person wouldn't know what we're going to do and give us direction that way to surprise each other. And that scene, man, it was just when we shot it, it was crazy. Like it was so funny. And we could not keep a straight face. Like me and Lucy and everybody in the crew were just like bursting out laughing every take. And that was by far like the funnest I've ever had on set ever. Like that day was for sure. That was like the dream. That was like I was living the dream. I'm like, this is why I love being an actor. It was just so fun. And the favorite line, oh my God, there's so many good ones. Like my character just does the most absurd things. The one that I've got a lot of feedback on, everybody always mentions, is when I say, I look at her and she says, "You're very deep." Oh, what does she say? She's like, "Oh, that was very deep." And I say, "I'm very deep, like infinity pool." And I like that line. And I made that line up on the spot. That was one of my lines.
Improv's
Uh,
always the best, mate.
Improv, yeah, and that one, and I mean, there's so many great lines in the movie already, and but that one is the one that I just improvised because we had just shot the pool scene, and actually the pool scene that actually got cut, like it didn't make it. There's a scene that Hunter goes in the pool, and it was super funny. So we had just shot that just earlier. So when they're like, okay, improvise something, I just thought of the pools. It was like I'm very deep, like infinity pool, which kind of makes no sense, but it's kind of funny because he's so serious about it. I think that's what, like, to him, it means so much. It's so meaningful. And so I would say that was kind of my favorite lines, but I mean, there's so many good ones.
Yeah. Given how you've done many different roles over the years, how was it
Mm-hmm.
being a romantic interest?
It was fun. Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really nice, actually. It's kind of nice to get to play that. I'm a big fan of romantic comedies, to be honest. And not just romantic comedies. I love romance movies. Like I really do. I'm a sucker for those. So I love it. I love doing it. I think it's really fun. And you really get to connect with the other person and, with your scene partner. And I really, really enjoy. Like I really enjoy being a romantic interest. And this was double the fun because I got to be a romantic interest, but also wild and crazy. So it wasn't your stereotypical romantic interest. It was like I'm, I'm wild and insane, but I'm also a romantic interest. It was kind of the best of both worlds. I got to be funny
Yeah.
and a romantic interest at the same time, which was really fun.
How easy was it to act with the dogs?
I will say I didn't actually act with the dogs that much. I only had the one scene when me and Lucy come home drunk.
And you
And
ruined Grant Gustin's collection.
yeah,
Definitely
and
do.
that's the only time. And I'm the one who, then I mean, I don't want to spoil the movie, but anyways, I'm not the nicest with the dogs. I will tell you, I got a lot of DMs about that of people being like, "Why were you so mean to the dogs?" And like, people were mad at me, and I was like,
It's
"Okay,
a
first of all, like,
movie.
I know." I'm like, "It was." Thank you. I'm like, "Okay, it wasn't me. Like, that was just the character we were
Right. Does
acting."
anyone does anyone listening think that Alessandro would actually be mean to a dog in real life?
I am really
I'm
not,
going
and
to say that. I'm going to take that as a no because I know
I
for a fact you wouldn't be.
I will tell you something. Like dogs love me. Like I really get along with dogs, and I'm a dog person. Like I love dogs. Um, in the movie, I will say, because Hunter comes in like really drunk and he's kind of, I also didn't do anything that mean, but he's just being kind of silly. And the dogs definitely were like, who is this guy? And the dog just ran away, which was perfect because the dog needed to run away. But it was kind of a brief, most of my scenes was just me and Lucy. I wasn't really in the storyline with the dogs that much. So it was just that one. So I was just drunk and the dogs were confused. It was only the one dog.
Yeah.
And he was like, who is this guy? So that was my extent of acting with the dogs.
I'm not going to.
But they were cute. They were super cute.
Oh, they were
cute dogs.
I'm not going to say too much or ask too much about it because obviously there are people who do want to watch it, and I don't want to spoil it for them by accident.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'll say is, do you think the movie could have gone on longer, or was it the right amount of time?
Like running time, you mean?
Yeah.
I think it was perfect. I think it was a great. What was the running time? Like an hour and a half or something?
It's something like an hour, between an hour and a half and an hour and 45.
Yeah, I think that's perfect for romantic comedy. I think that's great. I think it was a really good. I mean, look, personally, because selfishly, there were some movie, like the dinner scene. I wish had gone on longer, just because we had so much crazy footage, and I would have loved to see. But this is me being selfish and just wanting my work to be up there. Because the dinner scene I thought was really, really funny. And I think it could have gone on longer for my sake. But I think it makes sense the way they cut it, And also would have loved to see the pool scene. The pool scene was funny.
Now that you've said that, I want to see the pool scene.
It was so funny. It was just Hunter being weird, and it made it for an even more awkward situation and that was kind of, I mean, the pool scene was actually improvised as well, and then it didn't make it into the cut. But they're just like, hey, we have an idea. Like after the meeting, why don't you, get down to your underwear and just walk into the pool and then be crazy? Like, all right, let's do it. But there was actually that day there was a lightning storm.
Oh God!
So.
Not really the place you want to be.
So we gotta do it. I mean, they were being super safe. But there was a moment that it's like, okay, I'll go into the pool, and then it starts lightning. It's like, okay, maybe let's wait. And so I kind of had to go in the pool in between when the lightning storm was like passing, and it was kind of funny. But that was and I think it was really fun. I got a lot of stills. So if you go on my Instagram, there's a lot of stills from it. Luckily the still photographer captured the whole me walking into a pool, which is kind of fun. So I was able to post it, but it would have been fun. But otherwise, running time, I actually think for a romantic comedy was perfect. I think they did a great job.
Did you have any outtakes with the dogs? I know there is outtakes at the end of the movie. I can't remember for the life of me if you were in any of them or not.
I was in the one. Yeah, I was in one of the outtakes with me and Lucy at the restaurant. Yeah, I think that's the second one they show. I didn't have any outtakes with the dogs. Again, like my dog one. And that was the first scene I shot, was the one where we come in drunk. I didn't have any outtakes with the dogs. That was pretty that scene went really smoothly. So there was but yeah, there is an outtake of me and Lucy just bursting out laughing. During when I yelled delicious. Actually, delicious, I will say delicious is also one of my favorite lines, just because we said it so many times in so many different ways. Day of the delicious was a good one. And there were a lot of there was one, Top Sank didn't make it into the movie, which is a good one.
Yeah.
I used to high five Lucy Hale's character and just say Top Sank, and then I explained to her that it's Canadian for high five. I thought that was a funny line, but it didn't make it into the movie.
Now, I know the answer to this. I sort of know the answer to this question. You may.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a sequel? Is there room for a sequel?
I think there's room for a sequel. I would love to see a sequel. I think it'd be awesome. I think there's people loved it, man. People really enjoyed this movie. We got so much great feedback. And I totally think there is room for a sequel. So I would love to see Puppy Love too. I'm all about it.
What would
if
you
they
like
want to do it? I'm there.
Do you know what it could be about?
What could it be?
If Grant and Lucy's characters brought along a puppy of their own.
If they bought a puppy of their own,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
think there's.
you know what I mean by that, don't you?
Oh, I see
They
what you're
have a
saying.
baby.
Oh, I see. It did take me a sec because I was like, but they do have a puppy. Yeah, totally. I think there's definitely room for like there's definitely some great and their characters are just so good, like they have such good chemistry. So I'm all about it. If they want to do it, I'm all about it. As long as Hunter comes back. I feel like Hunter has to come back and make a mess again in some kind of weird way. So
Who knows? Hunter might
yeah.
realize he's made a mistake and he might actually want Lucy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I think Hunter did want Lucy. I mean, he's not the one, I think deep down he really liked her. He just had a weird way of showing it, but because he's kind of socially, like he doesn't know how to deal with people. But I think he, like, the way I played him, like he meant well, like he did like her. He's just strange. But I feel like he'd come back. He'd come back for sure. I'm going to say that. Yeah.
So obviously, if there is a next movie, who would be your dream choice to be in it?
Oh my God.
If there was anyone that you really wanted to be in a movie with that you haven't starred with yet, for instance,
Yeah.
who would you like to
Tom
star?
Hanks.
Really?
I want Tom Hanks to be. And I will tell you why. Just because actually I would love a cameo with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan because they're like my two, they were like my rom-com people when I grew up. So I would love to see I would love to see a cameo of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan somewhere there. Maybe they own a dog as well together or something. I don't know. I think that'd be cool. And I would love to. I mean, Tom Hanks would be
Tom Hanks is
like
he's a goat.
he's the one person I want to meet Tom Hanks. I want to work with Tom Hanks. That would be like the biggest dream come true, I feel, for me.
And obviously, the good news for everyone in the UK who has Amazon Prime, it is actually out on Amazon Prime now.
It is.
So
yes,
I've gone from one member of the cast where it wasn't available in the UK on Amazon Prime to another member of the cast where it is available on Amazon Prime. They must have heard my pleas and just put it on straight away, which was a bit weird, especially the timing.
Yeah. Yeah. It came out on Valentine's Day, which was awesome. It was like Amazon Prime's Valentine's Day movie, which was very, very cool. We're still waiting for it in Canada. I thought it was coming out on Valentine's Day, but it did not. So I don't know what's going on with that. But in the UK, you can watch it. In the States, you can watch it. So yeah, and it's fun. It's a nice movie. It's funny. It's fun. If you like rom-coms, if you like comedies, like it's good.
So, obviously, the most important thing I feel for actors like yourself, singers, podcasters like myself, is how will they be remembered? I probably have mentioned this to you last time we were here because it's been that long. But I want to be remembered for being someone who was truthful to what he set out for this podcast to be, which is a podcast from the people for the people. As far as an actor and everything else you have outside of acting, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as. I think I want to be remembered as somebody who was kind. I think kindness is a big one for me. And somebody that has made a difference in some kind of a way, I'm hoping to, which is also what I love about teaching, is inspiring people to be authentically themselves. So I would love to be remembered as somebody who inspires people to be authentically themselves. That would be nice.
For sure. I might listen. It might be a case of I might have said this when you were last on, but I'm not quite sure because I've evolved my questions quite a bit since then.
Sure.
But I've had guests on in the past who have done video games or been part of video game franchises. Lily Rexu and Alex Wilton Regan, I believe I had on before you came on, and Martin Hopping and Danielle Bisutti, who I have had on since. Is gaming an avenue you'd consider going down in the future?
You're gonna hate me for this. I don't play video games. It's never been my thing. It's never been my thing, except for Mario Kart when I was a child. I'm terrible. I don't know video games. I don't.
But would you
play
start
them.
a video game movie?
100%. Yeah, for sure. I would 100% do it. I feel like it'd be so much fun. 100%. I would totally do it. And then if that was the case, then I would definitely play the video game. I get somebody who's good at video game and show me how to, how to play it. I'm all about research and knowing what it is that I'm working on. I want to have as much knowledge of what I'm working on. So if I were to do it, I'd probably get into video games because then I'd probably start playing it and hopefully get good at it. I would 100%. I mean, The Last of Us is shooting in Vancouver, and I know every single person in Vancouver wants to be on it. I've had some friends in season. Exactly. I've had some friends in season 1. I would love to be on that show. So yeah. 100%, especially like get me on The Last of Us. Come on. I'll do anything.
I would be on Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly. And I do love that show. It's such a good show. So yeah.
So is there anything coming up that you'd like to mention that we haven't discussed? And like say any movies that you've got coming out or coming out in the next couple of weeks or months, or anything that is close to your heart that you'd like to mention while you're here?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I mean, last year was a bit slow, so I've got a short independent film coming out, or that's going to do a festival circuit, and then yeah, that's kind of all I got for now. I don't know. I'm trying to think. That's pretty much it for now. Until next time, and then we find out. I know I just got an email regarding a project that I just auditioned for like a couple of days ago, and now I'm up for it, so that might come up, but obviously I can't even say anything. And
of course,
literally the email just came up before I logged on. So, but I definitely can't talk about that. So, but the good thing is the industry is getting busier again after the strike. So that's nice.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm following you on social media, as you can probably tell.
Thank you.
But for those who don't obviously know what your social media handles are, would you like to disclose them?
Yeah.
If you do want to
So I pretty much mainly only use Instagram, and my handle is at the Al Miro. And then if you also, if you're an actor wanting to get into acting or anything and you're looking at classes and stuff, you can follow the studio page, which is at Al Miro Studios. And that's the studio. But my personal one is at the Al Miro. I apologize. There's a bunch of shirtless photos of me.
But no offense, but I don't exactly see Lucy Hale complaining in any of them.
What's that?
I definitely don't see Lucy Hale complaining in that one.
Yeah, I got Lucy in there, who's awesome. She's the best. And actually, yeah, I got a lot of behind the scene of Puppy Love. So if anybody's a fan of Puppy Love, go on it, check that out. Yeah, and actually, yeah, I got some photos. If you do like puppies, there's photos on there with with my partner's dog as well, who's a golden retriever.
Oh, and
she's adorable, Emma. Emma lives in LA. So yeah, so if you're a fan of puppies, and check out Emma. She's the best. She's super cute. So yeah, to all the people that think I'm mean to dogs, I'm really not. Dogs do love me. I've got proof on Instagram. Check it out.
Yeah. So please follow him on socials. Just please don't DM any marriage requests, any asking. Let's just please keep it nice.
Yeah, keep it nice. Just, it's always nice to hear from fans, especially, if they say they like the movie or like that kind of stuff. I always appreciate reading that stuff. So that's always, I'm very grateful for anybody that's watching the stuff I'm in, and the ones that want to follow me because I've seen it and I feel obliged to say some kind words. It's always nice and always very much appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Are you ready for your puppy love quiz?
Sure.
I mean, Corey Woods has already done this, and
okay.
I think you'll do better than she will, to be honest. But we'll see.
All right.
I like to be proven wrong, mate. So obviously the movie is about a disastrous day between two people who are thrown into living together by their dogs, about to become parents. Um, has anything similar happened to you or anyone you know?
Oh God. Has anything happened like that with the dog? Uh, no, no. I don't know anybody that's gotten in a relationship because they got their dog got the other dogs pregnant. Um, should I? I feel like I should have, but I really can't think of anything.
So
I will say, it is kind of funny that my first date with my boyfriend was, he showed up and he picked me up in his truck, and Emma, the golden retriever, was in the back. And oh my God, like she's two, and she has so much excitement. So I got I'm gonna use the word attacked, but I got attacked by this dog, but like in the most loving way. But it was like intense. And then went to a coffee shop, and he had to go, use the restroom. And he's like, "Can you just?" And we were inside the coffee shop. He's like, "Do you mind just looking after my after Emma while I'm gone?" And like when he left, she just went crazy. He was like jumping on tables, and so not quite the same, but it definitely was interesting to go on a first date with somebody who brought their puppy. And even though it's a puppy, like golden retrievers are big and so much energy, like so amazing.
I'm guessing Emma
So that
was.
was kind of my puppy love.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm guessing
I
Emma
didn't bring a
was.
dog though.
Oh, sorry. I guess Emma was just kind of missing her dad when she. I bet she was
She
not
was
lonely.
100%. She's probably like, who did she leave? Like she just left me here with a stranger.
Oh, bless.
And but she's the best. I just saw her this weekend in LA, and she's like the most loving and happy and excited dog. So, but yeah, that was kind of like a puppy love. I didn't bring a dog because it was only one puppy, but yeah, that was cute and definitely like brownie points for a date that brings an adorable dog. It's a good way to get to my heart. So there we go.
All right. What's your five favorite breed of dogs?
Ironically enough, golden retriever was
Yeah,
always one of my favorite breeds for sure. I like big dogs. I like labs.
yeah, Labradors.
And I know you asked me for five. I literally just think that it's like golden retriever and labs.
That's fine.
That's all I can say. I've got the two, and that's the dog I always wanted. Like it was one of those two. I love hiking, so I always picture myself hiking with either a golden retriever or a lab. Um, yeah, yeah. Those would be the two. I don't have five. I just have the two. Big dogs like that. I mean, I did have a German. I do love German Shepherds because I had one. My aunt had one growing up, and so I grew up with a German Shepherd. So I do also love German Shepherds. Always big dogs. I like big dogs. Big friendly dogs. Yeah.
Shall I tell you what my five is? I'm not sure if these are the
What is
same
it?
as I said in Corey's, but I'll do my best to try
Okay.
and avoid that.
Sure.
Greyhounds,
Okay.
the only breed of dog that won't bark at you. I do
Okay.
like a golden retriever, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I like huskies. I can't, when huskies kind of just like talk to you and they just go like that. Uh,
Huskies are beautiful. I will
they
agree.
are.
I almost said huskies as well because they are beautiful. Yeah.
I did say Japanese Akita, but I'm not going to say that this time.
Okay.
Labradors. I'm just trying to think what else.
Yeah.
I don't mind a German,
Yeah.
but me and Germans don't have a really good history. Uh, Seriously, I did used to do a paper round when I was younger, and there was always this guard dog that used to guard this property. And every single day for about 7 years straight, he literally went for me. We're talking,
Yeah.
take a big run up, and literally, the chain would just yank him back. One day, he actually broke his chain. That's kind of
Oh,
where it's not that I don't love German Shepherds, but when
wow.
a German Shepherd guard dog comes up for you, the only thing that goes
Sure.
the only thing that goes through your
Yeah.
mind is complete and utter fear.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. I guess, because I was a kid, and so the German Shepherd that my aunt had was called Lupa, and I remember her just being so friendly. So
Mm.
I have a kind of a different, I never saw them as aggressive and mean, but you're right. They can also be
Yeah.
kind of used as guards. And in that sense, yeah. I'm not a fan of scary dogs, like I like friendly. I really do. Like I like friendly dogs. I like dogs that look happy and smiley. That's kind of yeah. So I feel yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Last two, I'll say Rottweilers. I'm not going to say Dobermans
Mm,
because I do remember a time when there never used to be any Dobermans around, and now there are like
mm,
tons of them. But I will say, I guess,
okay.
didn't I? Yeah, actually, I'll say Dobermans because I actually have seen a few Dobermans and they look all right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. See
They look
that
really good.
that yeah that they kind of scare me a little bit. I will say. I'm sure they're great and lovely, but that would be if I
My
see a Doberman, I got a bit intimidated for
my
sure.
uncle, in when he was alive, he used to him and my auntie used to have a Doberman, and every single
Okay.
time we went round, he used to slam his backside on the settee. So he was literally telling me, "This is my settee. I own it. You don't. You are a guest. You'll do as I say." Literally, it was so
That's
loud
funny.
you could hear his backside hitting the settee over what you were
That's
actually
funny.
talking about. It was he wasn't, but it was looking back on it now.
Yeah, that's funny.
So agree or disagree, don't work with dogs on the movie set.
Disagree.
Oh, I actually
I
would as
think they're
well.
I think they're adorable. Like, why not? Bring more love onto the set. Bring some, yeah, for sure. Why, yeah, totally, totally.
All right.
Disagree. I think it's lovely. I think it's great to have dogs on set. I think it's fun.
All right. The big question. You star in
Yeah,
this movie with Lucy Hale, obviously, and Grant
yeah.
Gustin. Have you ever seen an episode of Pretty Little Liars and The Flash?
Uh, so Pretty Little Liars, I did, when it was a few years ago when I had a roommate, she loved Pretty Little Liars. So I didn't see a full episode, but she would be watching it. So sometimes I'd just chill and watch some of it with her. As for the Flash, I was actually on the Flash
You
for
were.
like a second. I played a super small, like the smallest role ever in season one, and that's actually when I met Grant Gustin for the first time. Um, and it was like the smallest role ever. I mean, I was playing a thief. And I literally had to like break this. You don't even see my face. Like I swear to God, by the end of it, you don't even see my face. But like I break this glass case with my gun, and then I steal the jewelry and run away. And funny story, actually, when I was doing that, I because they said actually I had to pull the gun back and then smash it, but I didn't realize the camera guy was right behind me, so I actually knocked him over. Like I went back and knocked him over and he fell down, and I was mortified because I was just there for the day. I
Yeah.
don't know anybody. I'm like new on set, and the one thing I do is like knock over the camera guy. So that was my thing. And I met so actually when I was hanging with Grant Gustin on the set of Puppy Love, I told him like we actually met like on season one of The Flash. We were like super briefly, but we met in the green room, and yeah. So I've been on it. Have I seen an episode? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I've seen a full episode of The Flash.
I think
I'm not sure.
technically you have been in an episode, so technically that could count as watching.
Yeah, and I don't even think I watched my episode. And no disrespect. It's just yeah, I just never have. Oh, that's a lie. You know what? I watched a full episode because I had a friend guest starring on it on this last season, I think. So I watched her episode fully from beginning to end. So there we go. I have.
I'll be honest, I've seen, hold on, how many seasons of Flash have I watched? Hold on, which one did Mirror Master? Hold on, Tinkerer was season 4, something else was season 5. I think the Mirror Master, was, I can't remember which season it was, but it might have been, I think I might have stopped watching it from season 7 onwards. I think it was 7 seasons,
Okay.
I've seen that
Mm.
many. Going to be honest, seen about 10 seconds of Pretty Little Liars, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to be honest.
That's fair.
Have you ever had a disastrous first date? Well, we know you've had a good first date, but have you ever
What
had
a
a
great.
disastrous?
I mean, I've had a few bad ones, and I'm sure I've had a disastrous. Like I've had some bad ones. I think I had one. I've had a couple with some people that I'm like, I don't actually know if they might actually be crazy. There was one guy that was just completely like, I think he was nuts. I think he was crazy. I don't even want to go into it. Then there was one that was kind of funny. I got like stuff spilt on me, and I think I had a whole like the guy knocked over his drink, and he literally went all over me, and he pretended like nothing happened. They didn't even like ask me if I wanted a napkin. I was just there, and he just kept eating, and I'm like, all right, this is yeah. I've had some bad first
Yeah.
dates.
He
It's
just
so
eats
funny when I
everything
talk
for me.
about it. I get worried that that person's like might listen, so I don't want to go into details because I'm like, oh, what if this person's listening? I don't want to like, but I've had some pretty bad first dates for sure. That you leave and you're like, oh my God. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what would be funny?
100%.
Do you want to know what would be funny? If you actually
What?
DM'd me and said, yes, I was Alessandro Miro's bad date.
Yeah, is it,
That would be funny.
that would be funny. I know. Well, that's why I'm like worried about going into details. Not that I don't think they, yeah, but just in case, I'm like, I want to say some things, but and like I've definitely been on some dates that like the person would do very inappropriate things, and yeah, I've been on some bad dates for sure.
Hi then. Corey, this was the last question of the actual Puppy Love quiz that I gave Corey. So,
Okay.
which out of these five is your preferred movie? Bearing in mind they are all dog movies. Turner and Hooch. This is Tom Hanks, not the TV series that was remade. Cats and Dogs with Tobey Maguire. Beethoven. How can you not put Beethoven in this? Marley and Me. And the last one, and this is my preferred option out of the two, because this one is the first movie that I remember seeing at cinema. Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Wow, nice. I'm gonna go with, did you take out Beethoven? Did you say that doesn't count
I did say
anymore?
Beethoven, yes.
Because I was gonna say Beethoven because that was like as a child, that was a big influence. I remember that movie. Like that was like one of my favorite childhood movies for sure. I would say that or Turner and Hooch because it's Tom Hanks, but Beethoven and that was that a German Shepherd? What was Beethoven?
Beethoven was the Saint Bernard.
Oh, sorry, a Saint Bernard. Right, that's what he was. And yeah, and as a matter of fact, that was one of my favorite dogs back when I was a kid because of Beethoven. So I'm gonna go with Beethoven because
Oh,
I don't know if you took that out of the options, but that's gonna be the one. Because as soon as you said it, it brought a smile to my face and it made me
fair enough.
nostalgic of my childhood. Like that was a movie that I would watch over and over for sure as a kid.
I'm not gonna argue, mate. To be honest with you, yeah, I love Beethoven as well, but like I said,
Yeah,
Bound holds so many memories for me.
fair enough. Yeah,
Just,
I don't remember it as well. I think I've seen it, but I actually don't really remember it.
in fact, what we in 2024? I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that movie's like 31 years old.
Wow, yeah. I
93, I think it
know.
came
It's
out.
crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, makes
Um,
sense though.
Now, with my co-hosts, what we've done is we started something called the movie wall, which is basically,
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with old Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May. It's basically the cool
Okay.
war, but for movies. So
Okay.
we take it. We'll say every 2 weeks or every movie special we do, but we are doing one this week for the gaming special. So what we need from you is a movie that we all decide to do on the next one. And since my co-host Sam critics movies, he would like a choice of three of your favorite movies to review.
Okay. So three movies that I love, not that I've been in, that I love,
That you love.
correct? That I love to be reviewed.
Yeah.
So are we thinking, sorry, movies that I love or just movies in general? Like movies that I like or movies I don't like or
It
both?
could be whichever one, mate. I always prefer your favorite movies. Then it means that little bit
Okay.
extra.
Yeah. And it can be anything from any time.
Yep. Anything. As long as Sam
Okay.
can find it, he'll review it. That should be his tagline, really.
Oh my, can I make it difficult?
Oh, please do.
Can
I
I
enjoy making Sam's life as difficult as humanly possible.
can I throw in an Italian movie from back in the days?
Please say Suspiria.
No.
Oh, I
No, I was
love.
gonna
I have
I
actually seen
haven't seen
Dario.
that
I've actually
actually.
seen that, not the Amazon remake, the original Dario Argento. I love it.
That's funny. I have never seen it. Actually, I should watch it.
It's actually on. I
Okay.
don't know if it's in Canada or not, but you can get it. You
Okay.
can get it on Amazon Prime over here. So I imagine you can get it over there
Okay.
in Canada.
Okay. Um, yeah, I probably can. I probably can. But what I was gonna say was Il Postino, because that was like such a. I don't know if he would have. I feel like I'm gonna have to make him dig into it.
Real
Il
close.
Postino, which
I
is
actually,
the it means the postman. Anytime it's a very old movie, but I always find that heartbreaking because you watch that movie and the actor in it actually died. The main actor died in the while filming that movie, so I always find it very sad. But I love that movie.
so what other
So I'm
two?
gonna say
What other two have
I'm
you
gonna
got?
say I'm gonna say Il Postino. I'm gonna say um, Amadeus.
Ooh,
Love Amadeus.
I'm sure we, I'm sure we've mentioned that before, but it just depends
Okay.
how. As I say, he has got a very long list, but he will get round
Yeah.
to it eventually. Just not sure when.
Yeah.
And what for your last one?
Amadeus. And then let's go with Dog Day Afternoon.
A Dog Day Afternoon.
Dog Day Afternoon, yeah.
Right.
Because again, one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite roles, like Al Pacino, and that is so good. So that's what I would say.
Yes. Right. They've been sent. Now, what would you like us to put on the movie wall for? What would you like it to be?
Sorry, on the what?
On the movie wall, what movie would you like us to have a decision about where that goes on it?
Oh, right.
There is one movie I must point out. There is one movie that everyone who has listened to it before knows that we really want someone to say it. But I have been accused in the past of showing favoritism to this movie by deliberately saying this movie, so I'm not going to. I just want to see what you actually say, and then I will tell you what it is.
So, okay, again, explain the rules of this one. It's I have to pick a movie.
Basically, pick a movie, and then on the next podcast, we three
Yeah.
will decide where it goes. Whether it goes in the, I'll say like the most uncoolest section or the coolest section.
Okay. And again, this can be any
It can be
movie
any
of
movie.
any time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be something I like.
Nope.
Can I? Okay, then I'm gonna say the movie Mother. Was it called Mother? Darren
That way.
Aronofsky.
Yes. Yeah, it was. Just let me find. I need to put it in here. So let me just find the underneath housekeeping. Ready Player One and Mother. That was Jennifer Lopez, not Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lawrence, wasn't it?
Jennifer Lawrence and was it Javier Bardem
It
and
might have
Michelle
been.
Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
And I will tell. I mean, I just want to see what you guys put because should I say if I liked her or not?
You can say if you want.
Yeah, because to me, like that was a painful movie to watch. I mean, it was very difficult. Shouldn't say that in case I ever work with Darren
Just want
Aronofsky.
to see if we've already.
Because I love Darren Aronofsky, and like Black Swan is one of my favorite movies. But I found that movie difficult in the sense of like I remember watching a movie theater and there was just so much happening. There was so much happening that I was like getting dizzy. So I'm just curious as to see what you guys think.
Right.
I don't know if that's a good option for the game that you're playing, but
Yeah.
that's what popped up.
It's all right. We are doing it tomorrow. We're going to do it tomorrow. But if Mother
Okay.
is on any streaming, platforms, I can watch it tonight. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll see what we
Have
can
you
do
not
tomorrow.
seen it? Oh, you haven't seen it.
I don't. I've seen a lot of Jennifer Lawrence movies, but I don't think
Yeah.
Mother is
Oh,
one of them.
wow.
But
Okay.
I'll have a look. Right.
Yeah.
So before you came on,
Yeah.
I sent you a list of 55 questions from the class of 2023.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've actually picked out the questions which you want.
Mhm.
So do you want to do
I
all
picked
eight
a
of
few
them?
more than 5. I picked the ones you could ask me, so
Yeah,
you
that's fine.
can choose.
So anyway, it's not up to me really, mate. It's what you want. So
Okay.
you've got your numbers.
Sure.
So which one do you want me to ask you first?
I don't have the list in front of me, so you'll have to tell me.
Right, so you got 4, 6, 18, 19, 21, 23, 36, and 55.
Oh, I have a lot. Well, let's start with whatever, because I don't have the questions in front of me, so you're gonna have to
All right. So what number do you want?
I don't remember what they are. Four?
Right. So what's your favorite on-set moment and who was it with? If you want to say Lucy Hale, then you can.
I know it was with Lucy, and I kind of already answered that because it was the
Yeah.
dinner scene with Lucy Hale. It was the most fun, yeah. So I already answered that one. It was the best.
All right then.
Also, just a shout out to Lucy Hale, by the way, who's just one of the nicest actors I've ever worked with, and just so kind and humble, and just so talented. And yeah, so I just want to put out a shout out to her. She's absolutely incredible. Anybody gets to work with her is very, very lucky. So just want to say that.
Right. I will text. I will email the producer when we finish and say must have Lucy Hale as soon as possible.
Yeah, she's
Alessandro
the best.
Miro requests that I do that.
I
I tell you what. I'll give you a question from.
know she's pretty busy, so yeah.
I'll give you a question from one of your fellow Canadians. How's that?
Sure. Let's go for it.
What book, fiction or non-fiction, has made the biggest impact on you, and what was the reasoning for the impact?
Nice. I was gonna say The Alchemist.
Ooh.
The Alchemist, because it's one of those books that it's so much about life and makes you understand how important the journey. It's all about the journey, and so that's always a thought that I go back to when you're trying to achieve a goal, or you feel like you're not at the place that you want to be at. I just go back to that book and remind myself that that the importance of life is all about the journey. So The Alchemist.
Yes, I believe that was Emmanuel Vaugier who sent me that question.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know,
great. Okay.
yeah. Do you know Emmanuel Vaugier? I'm assuming you do.
I feel like I think at some point we were the same agent, I want to say. I don't know if we still are, but I think, yeah. So I don't know. I've never met her, but that's actually a really good question. So I
She's
like
an
that.
absolute angel. I had her on here last year,
Yeah.
as you can probably tell. And
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
Good
lovely,
question.
lovely lady.
Yeah.
All right. If you were stranded on a desert island, what would be the one food you'd have on it, but you would have it unlimited? Just to give you an example,
Pasta.
you'd have pasta.
Yes.
I tell you what, do you
Like,
want to know something?
yeah, I need pasta all the time. I eat it all the time. Yeah.
You want to know something?
What?
There's actually too many foods for me to name that I would actually take with me.
Mm,
But to be honest with you, I don't really have pasta as much as I'd like to have it. So I'm
I
actually
love
going to go with
pasta.
you on that and say I'll have pasta as well.
Love it. Love it. I love it. I
That's
love
one,
pasta.
two, three. I'll tell you what then. I'll give you Sam's question because this was his question that I got from him
Sure.
last year. What is your go-to film when you're feeling down and you need a little morale boost?
Yeah. I'm gonna say uh I'm gonna say Sleepless in Seattle. Gonna go with a good old rom-com with my faves, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. It's a good one. Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, bless you. I know. Technically, that's four because technically you've already answered the onset moment with Lucy.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you question six, just
Yeah.
for acting wise. What do
Sure.
you like about acting?
What I love about acting is how I have found so much authenticity and truth and vulnerability in who I am as a person because of acting. And that's what I love about it. Sometimes I feel the most truthful and honest when I'm acting. And I've really discovered so many things about myself through acting. I think that's what I love about it.
And since you've been asked five questions by last year's interview alumni, what
Mm-hmm.
question would you like to leave for the class of 2025?
Okay, my question will be, how do you stay happy when your career isn't going well?
How do you stay happy when your
Your
career?
career isn't going the way you want it to go, maybe.
Yeah, going well. So how do you stay happy when your career isn't going well? Let me just
Yeah,
let me just adjust because it's literally put in dust, so I'm not quite sure.
absolutely. Yeah, do your thing, do your thing.
Right, I'll technically I could answer that because I have a podcasting career. I know it's not the same as like say acting or singing, but
Sure, but still, yeah, for sure. Because it's really any career that it
yeah,
could be related to. Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? You might not know this about me.
Yeah.
I've had seizures since I was 16 years old. So
Okay.
I know everything there is to know about life not going very well. There's been
Mm,
times where I've hit the bottom of a barrel and then I've gone down further than the bottom of the barrel.
wow.
But I've always had the belief that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, or that I may be in the darkest before the dawn, but that dawn
Mm,
does come. And 7 years later, from my first seizure, my light actually came, and I actually got my car.
wow.
Then I had a relapse about 7 years later. Then I lost it again. I got it back again. This one
Mm,
was kind of a bit of a harder pill to swallow, simply because I thought I wasn't going to have any more, and then I had some more. And
right.
it just went, literally, it was even worse than the first time. But again, light at the end of the tunnel, darkest of dark is just before the dawn. And again, that dawn and the light came. So I always like to think of things that even if things aren't working out and things could be worse, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And that no matter how dark the dark is, the dawn
Hmm.
always comes.
That's beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
So
That's really, really, that's beautiful. And yeah, thank you for being honest and open. And, I'm sorry that you've had to deal with that, but it's really lovely to see that you stay strong and find positivity. And, yeah, it's very important. Right. So
I'll be
good
honest,
for you,
mate.
man. That's awesome.
I'll be honest. I kind of needed it more than anything because when I was 16
Yeah.
years old, I'm going to be a part of my French for saying this, but I was an arsehole.
Mm,
And I'll happily admit
interesting.
that. I will happily
Yeah.
admit that.
Hmm.
I don't think having a sister who was 14 months older than me and the fact that we always thought and we always fought didn't really
Yeah.
help. But
Right.
that was kind of like a wake up call, like, right, you can't be an arsehole. You have to grow up
Yeah.
quicker than you thought you would have to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The
And
things you learn through the struggles, the things that sometimes the struggle comes along to teach you something. But
yeah,
yeah. That's beautiful, man.
thanks, mate.
Yeah.
And last question before I let you go, just to keep it on the feel of the
Yes.
Dow 20 podcast.
Yes.
Sam, the critic who will be going over those three movies you've sent him,
Hmm.
if you could inhabit any realm from any movie or video game, what would it be and why? I know you're not really a
Yes.
gamer, but you can say games if you think of something.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a good one. I wish I had time to think on it.
Take all the
Oh
time
my
you need,
God. I feel like I'm about to say like the the image that popped into the image that popped into my mind, which is kind of silly, would be, and I'm thinking like try to combine it with games and movies. I'm thinking like the world in Avatar is really beautiful.
mate.
Just not silly, but it's like that. It's just beautiful. I mean, it seems just like a beautiful world. So I would say that.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Probably the
Yeah,
only
let's go with
3D
that.
movie that's been worthy of being watched in 3D. So you'll get no
Yeah,
arguments from there.
there we go.
So, Alessandro, thank you very much. And I must admit, I wish we had more time to catch up, but it's
Yeah.
been good. And
Next time.
hopefully it won't be another 3 years next time I see
That's
you.
right.
So
That's right, man. Well, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
mate, the door's always open for you to come back whenever you want.
Awesome.
And
Thanks so
on that,
much,
ladies
man.
and gentlemen, Alessandro Miro.